Hello, today I'm going to start to go through the BPPI, which is one of Wave Data's pricing data products, but it's slightly different from some of the others because it's got 10 years of historical data in it. So we're playing with prices almost plastically to have a look at the long-term trends. So let's start by logging in. It's bppi.co.uk and password and username, which should be identical to other passwords and usernames you might have for Wave Data's websites if you subscribe to them. Now the first thing to say is let's talk about the various areas of the screen. The main area of the screen is where the data appears. Over on the top left are items that you can select and add to your report and to your data, and down on the bottom left are areas where you can actually put data icons to put them into certain parts of the report. So you've got rows area, you've got values, columns area, and you've got filters here. So let's start at the beginning and say we're going to do a report about the price decay of a recent generic product that was launched in the UK in the last couple of years. So I'm going to start by selecting average and minimum. Some people say you shouldn't actually start by putting the data in. Well, actually, almost everybody says this. They say it delays things. I like to illustrate the data and to see what I'm doing. So I tend to put the measures, the average and maximum, things like that in at the very beginning. The next thing to look at is the fact that the average and minimum are beside each other, giving you 2 columns per month, which I find annoying. So I want to swap them to put them one above the other by ticking the rows area button down on the bottom left. So we've now got them in the right format. So the next thing to think about is that we do want generic data. We want UK prices here. So we've got to discriminate on the country. So you've got 2 selections here. Country actually breaks it down into Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and England. The PI UK one simplifies it. So I'm going to use that today. So that will then break it out. So we can see we've got a bit of PE data somewhere in that at some point. We have lots of PI prices and we have UK prices. Now we need to filter, so we've just got UK. So I'm using the little down arrow on the UK PI icon, which will allow me to filter. So I take the 2 ticks out, I click the plus there, and I select UK. If this window doesn't appear, it may be that you've got pop-ups blocked. You have to unblock that. Many of our websites use pop-ups, so best to unblock or to allow certain websites to have pop-ups. So that's done. We've now filtered on the UK, and the next thing I want to do is to actually drag that from the rows area, and you'll see that red boxes appear when I do it, into the filter area. Now if for any reason you're unable to do that and you don't think it's your internet connection and the connection speed, there is a fix, and the fix helps with Internet Explorer subsequent to 10. So if you're on 11 or more recent, you may get problems with this. And the way to fix it is to go up to the little cogwheel, the tools menu in the top right hand corner, click that, go down to compatibility view settings and add bppi.co.uk and add that, and that will, I've already got it there so I don't need to do that, and that will allow you to use the functionality that existed in previous versions of Internet Explorer. By the way, don't try and use the BPPI with any other browser. It's specifically built for Internet Explorer. Our other websites will work on almost any browser you care to name. This particular one, because of the quantity of data being dragged backwards and forwards, only works in Internet Explorer. So we've now got data on screen. Let's actually have a look and see what it looks like. Down on the bottom right, we've got a little button that says Show Chart. So let's click that. And that, hopefully, will give us a chart. Here we go. So we're now starting to see a trend over time. And of course, that is the average and minimum of all the products we've got in our database. So now what we need to do is to actually introduce some product names. So if we scroll down the list to where it says product, you'll see that we've actually got 2 product names. We've got product name short and product name detailed. By and large, short is the better one to use because it's abbreviated down to just the product name, the pack size, the strength, and the form, whether it's a tablet or capsule or a liquid of one form or another. Detailed includes additional information such as the name of the generic manufacturer, whether or not it's a short-dated product, and when it's going to run out, whether it's got a damaged box or something like that. So we now click that. So that takes a couple of minutes to appear. Be patient while the product names appear. So we now need to filter on the names of the products. So if we use the drop down, the down pointing arrow on product name short, that will give us the pop-up so we can actually choose a product. And to illustrate this and give us some data we can see, I'm going to have a look at Valsartan. And I will choose the Valsartan tablet 40 milligrams 7. There we go. So that's now chosen. You could choose more than one product, of course, if you wanted to, but if you choose too many, you might slow down the report and the rate at which the data appears. So that's done, and it will be filtered. There we go. So now let's have a look at an updated chart. And we'll go down and have a look at that. And that shows that there was a spike in price in December 2011, which I think was when it came off patent and the generics were launched, and the price came down fairly rapidly, continued coming down until about February, March 2014, and then the price bounced back up again. So that's the average price going up, but the minimum price followed it fairly shortly afterwards and spiked very rapidly in February 2015. We've done quite a lot of analyses of price bounces over the years, and we've generally found that it happens in about 20% of generic products. And we believe the reason, though if you're working for a generic manufacturer, you may know far better than we do, we think the reason is that there's only a few API suppliers and they have difficulties with their supply and everybody grinds to a halt, as it were, or the price drops to such a low level nobody can actually make any money out of it, so some manufacturers withdraw. So let's add a little bit of extra detail here. Let's actually add the names of the generic manufacturers. So at this point we could actually drop the data into Excel using the little Excel symbol up here. We could also save the report using the floppy disk icon, and then to resuscitate it and get it back in the future use the open thing. So let's now find licensor name and click that. And then we can click the plus on the product and we should see a breakdown of some of the companies supplying it. Here we go. So we're now starting to see a little bit of detail about individual companies actually supplying the product. And if we pull the cursor across at the bottom, we should see a bit more. Hang on, let's go down. There we go. So sometimes there's two sliders on your screen and it's difficult to work out which is which. There we go. So we're finding fragmentary data there, but enough to give us a clue as to what's going on. Thanks for listening to this one. I will be making some more, particularly about drug tariff and how to add drug tariff information to this report. But thanks for your time.